In today's Farm Report, international trade shows have been a major reason U.S. ag and food export totals experienced unprecedented growth in recent years. The USDA's Rod Bain reports.
Ever wondered why the U.S. sells so much food, processed and value-added products, and agricultural goods around the world? So much so that during the first part of this decade, U.S. ag exports experienced an unprecedented growth period? Part of that success relies on the groundwork conducted at international-based trade shows, such as
the largest food and beverage show in the world, ANUGA,
held annually in Cologne, Germany, according to USDA Undersecretary for Farm and Foreign Agricultural Services Michael Skews, who recently attended ANUGA.
Shows like this help us showcase the quality and the diversity of the products that our farmers and ranchers produce here in the United States and give us the ability to open up additional markets.
Support for U.S. companies wishing to participate in these trade shows, whether on a regular basis or as a startup exporter of their products, comes from the Agriculture Department's Foreign Agricultural Service. This is the administrator of FAS, Phil Karsting.
We, in 2015, helped almost 1,000 companies and organizations participate in 23 USDA-endorsed trade shows in about 16 countries.
Now, you heard Karsting say USDA-sponsored trade shows. He means that out of the hundreds, perhaps thousands of trade shows held around the globe every year,
we try to go through and find the ones that we think hold the most opportunity for U.S. exports, where we can have staff, our foreign service officers, as well as our in-country staff there to provide the sort of support and logistics, sometimes interpretation, those sorts of things. We want to make sure that if we are taking people to a trade show, that A, it's a really good one with real buyers and real opportunity, and that we're able to support them and make their experience there a good one.
So within trade shows, opportunities for companies of various sizes and scopes are available to establish future business relationships with counterparts overseas. Karsting estimates among the businesses participating in trade shows,
a lot of them, probably a quarter or more, are small and medium enterprises, companies that were new to export. So that's really exciting for us to help these people begin to make contacts and then to watch those contacts grow. Because once they become more comfortable with exporting, it often means that they can help cultivate markets in neighboring countries, get to know distributors in other places.
And the administrator says, like any service-oriented entity, especially in terms of fostering potential business opportunities, the Foreign Agricultural Service conducts follow-up with businesses participating in trade shows.
We're always looking for ways that we can do things better to make sure that the export experience is a productive one for people. We're interested in collecting data on what kinds of sales were inked at the trade show, but sometimes that doesn't tell the whole story because there can be sales in the first 12 months or the first 6 months, and then in 18 months once people get more comfortable. It's always my hope that sales at the trade show is just the tip of the iceberg. That gets the ball rolling. And so we look for feedback in different forms, both quantitative as well as qualitative feedback.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
When the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service sought a spokesperson for their Healthy Soils campaign, they thought of Dr. Laura Danley, curator of the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles.
Studying Earth is just like studying the planets. Earth is a planet. So it's a natural for me to want to share some important messages with people about how we can make Earth healthier.
Danley is featured in a new web video that promotes practices farmers can use to protect and enhance their soils.
Long live the soil. Long live planet Earth.
Techniques such as crop rotation and cover crops can help build up organic matter in soils, and that can mean better crops and higher profits, according to Montana farmer Mike Zook.
Soil health is going to give you higher yields, and if we don't protect these few inches of topsoil we got left, we're done.
Dr. Danley says soils and science are a perfect fit.
When we study the way in which soils and microbes work together, we're really just studying another aspect of the universe.
For the U.S. Department of Agriculture, I'm Pat O'Leary.
If you're like me, you gained a few pounds over the holidays due to all the rich foods we were eating. But, as Gary Crawford with the U.S. Department of Agriculture reports, to get that weight off, there is a right and a wrong way to do it.
Happy holiday!
Yeah, well, we have the holidays behind us now. Get rid of that. And a new year is here, but after a month or so of the dinners, you know, the buffets, the holiday parties, all of that, I step on the scales today and... Whoa, wait a minute. It can't be. I've gained how much weight? Oh, a lot.
And it could be as much as 6-7 pounds depending on the person.
7 pounds? No wonder I keep popping the buttons off my pants. All of this gain in just a few weeks?
It can come on very quickly, but it takes time to burn it back off.
Didn't want to hear that, did we? That's Karen Inslee, a Rutgers University Extension nutrition expert, which also means that she counsels on exercise and that sort of thing, because the two definitely go together this time of year. She says it didn't take long to put that weight on, did it? And the expectation that we have is to get that taken back off super quick. But Karen Inslee says that's not a good idea, even if you could possibly do it.
When you take weight off quickly, it's going to come back on quickly. So you want to take it off slowly.
So how do you do that in the right way with the best chance of success? Well, Karen says here's not how to do it.
You don't want to skip meals. You want to make sure you eat breakfast, you have a lunch, and you eat some dinner. You don't want to put yourself in this situation where you're taking in more calories at one time or letting yourself get super hungry.
It causes the body all sorts of problems. Also makes you so hungry at times that you overeat when you do have something to eat, and you aren't too picky about what you eat either when you're super hungry. Not to mention, it gets the sugar levels in your body all messed up, which can affect your mood, which may be none too good already. So next, it's time to watch and control your food intake somehow or other. So
go back onto a plan that's realistic. That would be calorically cut back so that you're eating, for women, around 1,200 calories a day, maybe a little bit less, and for men around 1,300 to 1,500 calories a day. So you cut back on your calories, and that way you can start to lose gradually.
So go ahead, eat 3 meals a day. That's fine. Just keep them realistic. Cut back a bit on the calories. Now, it may not be as much fun and frivolous as the holiday eating and snacking was.
But if you get yourself into that habit, you will start to see it come off. You won't feel hungry. You won't feel deprived. And, it'll come off in a reasonable amount of time.
Especially if you include regular exercise in your daily routine. And we'll get some tips on that next time. I'm Gary Crawford. There goes another one. I'm Gary Crawford reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington.
By focusing on soil health, it allows us to increase the carbon content in the soil, therefore the drought resilience, the resilience to extreme weather events. It also helps us to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and manage wildlife habitat. So many of these types of things benefits from improving soil health.
That's USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service Deputy Chief Wayne Honeycutt. He recently spoke at the National Conference on Grazing Lands in Texas, talking about both the imperatives as well as the opportunities for grazing land operators to enhance soil health. He notes many issues facing not just our nation, but globally, can be addressed through soil health improvements.
Research has shown that in grasslands and in cropland, when we focus on increasing carbon in the soil, we can increase the water holding capacity of that soil. So that doesn't make it rain, but it does make the most out of what rain that we do get. It also helps with water infiltration and a number of other things.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.